outside without some kind of nonsense happening, somebody looking to take your stuff, snatch your things. We can acknowledge that there's a crime issue. Now, a lot of persons, particularly older folks and persons in power and so on, seem to put a link between Trinidad music and criminal behavior and crime. And I want to have a conversation about that today. But before we get into that, what is Trinidad music? For the older heads who are looking at the program, they don't know who the coupon is. What is Trinidad? You're OG in the thing. What is Trinidad music?
So, you see how we have reggae artists such as Malanasha, Isasha, Jamelody, who sing reggae from Trinidad.
Correct, right.
They call their music reggae. But in Trinidad now, we have artists who sing dancehall, but we mainly use a Trinidad accent or twang, and we use the Trini culture to express ourselves. So we call that Trinidad dancehall.
So
so
that's where it stems from. So it's dancehall music, but
from
a Trinidad standpoint.
Yeah.
Right? So it's and of course dancehall is from Jamaica originally.
Yeah, Jamaica.
But dancehall artists in Jamaica sing about Jamaican issues that happen in Jamaica, things that you go through Jamaica. So when we're talking about Trinidad dancehall, we'd assume here that Trinidad now we're singing about issues here.
In Trinidad, right?
Right. So I'm glad we established that, right? Because now we get into the more difficult part of the conversation, the more, I suppose, scholarly part of the conversation where we talk about, is it a chicken and egg scenario? So is it the music that is influencing the youths? Because a lot of the dancehall, people see dancehall music as violent music and so on, talking about guns and crime, and people see that.
Yeah.
So is it the dancehall, is it Trinidad music that influencing the youths to behave in a negative way and commit crime and so on? Or is it the crime and the environments and things that some of these youths come from, they're just singing what they see?
Right.
What do you think? What's your thoughts on that?
Well, to get to the bottom of anything, you have to basically do your research and do your background checks. So to say that Trinidad music is the cause of crime, that would mean that there was no crime before Trinidad music. If there was crime before Trinidad music, well, then you cannot blame the crime on the music because the crime was always there.
Right. Now, when you say it was there before Trinidad music, when did Trinidad music start in your estimation? Because you have been there basically from the beginning.
2017 is when it took off.
Okay.
Yeah. So if before 2017 we were a crime-free country, well, okay. Well, then you could blame Trinidad. But once that crime before 2017, you really have to look at what is the source of the crime.
Now, being somebody who was there from the start of it, right? I'll put that question on pause. Actually, let me take it back even further than that. And to be fair, every time a new genre of music that goes against what is the traditional established music in the country comes up, people tend to blame that music. So when dub and reggae and things first hit Trinidad shores out of Jamaica, there was a similar cry from persons, traditionalists who believe that that influence coming and affecting negative behavior, the youths and things in Trinidad. If you push it back further than that, when Sparrow and them was singing about lizard and so on and thing, you have the older heads at the time who were saying, listen, this raunchy music.
Yeah.
Right? You understand what I'm saying? This raunchy music is affecting the youths and it's causing people to behave in a certain way and so on, and that's Sparrow. So all this time later, we have modern persons singing about modern issues and so on, just like Sparrow did, I suppose, in his time.
Yeah.
And we kind of, some persons are choosing to believe or want to believe that this music is what is impacting the crime. Now,
well, so I don't know what to ask them, right? you go back to Kiss Kitty Caravan days, General Grant, right?
Right.
What was General Grant's biggest song, you know?
The shot call?
Right. And what does that mean when somebody say a shot call? Is it a shot glass? You know?
Yeah.
So I think it's just we is the easiest to blame.
But you have to be fair in acknowledging, though, that while you have other genres of music, so for example, you even have positive soca. You have persons like Kessa and so on. You have artists who come out and sing soca with positive messages in it. We don't have that many positive messages, perhaps maybe outside of Jelano, because I'm a big fan. So Jelano, if you're listening, hit me up, you can do an interview, right?
Yeah.
Outside of Jelano, and I wouldn't even say Orlando because Orlando doesn't really do Trinidad, and but outside of Jelano, we don't really have much positive Trinidad music. It's more so a representation of what they're seeing outside. You know what I mean? So could that be something that we focus more on doing more positive?
Well, the thing is, Trinis don't like positive music. If you put on the radio right now, and you count the next 100 songs, 5 positive. So it clearly shows that the culture doesn't like that. So why would the artists sing music that the fans don't want to consume? How do they make money if nobody listens to the music? So the artists really singing what they think people want to hear.
That's an interesting dynamic you just brought up, because the argument oftentimes is that it's the artist force feeding this music to the population, and the population have to take whatever violence this artist singing. But from what you're explaining, the artist needs to eat too, and the artist is singing music that the people want to hear.
Yeah, like Plumpy Boss' first big song was My Journey.
Right.
Everybody forget about that. Swanee's second big song was Brother. People forget about that. Jaron Nurse even sing Trinidad gospel. They forget about that. They just want to focus.
But it was bigger. The Jaron Nurse Trinidad was a big song. I mean, it blew up. It was a
big song, but it was also a positive song about the Trinidad artists and the culture. It's Trinidad music, the cadence, the rhythm style. Even where he produces song, he produces some bad Trinidad producer. I think Shady Beats, you know?
Shady, yeah.
So it's a particular situation where things happening in the country that the youth them singing about and the youth them living and experiencing. So I don't think anything they're making up all is fantasy, you know.
So, yes, from your experience, the artists singing their experience, what they live. Now, the argument that we just dispelled is that we can say that they also live positive things, right? So you have positive things happening to them. So for example, I followed Swanee when Swanee first started releasing music. He sang about the struggle and so on. But let's be real, artists like Swanee kind of blow up and now they make it, it ain't gonna be authentic to sing about the struggle anymore. The man driving a BM and thing and rocking chains.
The struggle don't really sell all the time.
That's what I'm saying. So people still singing up, maybe still singing about the struggle, but they have passed that stage of the struggle. They're not on the block hustling and so on, and it's not no longer hand to mouth. Men rocking chains that could purchase somebody's car. You know what I mean? Yeah. you could sell your jewelry and buy an apartment. So it's not really we're not really on that level of struggle anymore. But we still have a lot of people who still trying to sing about our struggle even though they're not experiencing it.
Yeah.
So could we say then that even though we talk about people singing or people attempting to sing what they see, we have people who no longer sing in their experience. And I think a big part of the Trinidad music, at least for me, what struck a chord was it seemed authentic. It seemed like people was actually singing, you know, it came from within. I lived this life, right? I lived this life. This is something that I experienced and so on and whatever. I lived it. But now we have a lot of people who just singing it because they feel like you could sell records, you can make money.
That is sad thing right now.
Yeah, so now it's become a cultural thing where people not necessarily living that life, they're just singing about it, just singing it because it could sell. And in that case, we could then argue the culture of the music, of Trinidad music, has taken on a life of its own. And now people feel as though you have to fall into that category and sing about our life to be able to sell.
Yep.
Right? And then that's unfortunate because now we've lost the genuineness of the music. When Rebel 6 started singing initially, and for persons who don't know at home, Rebel 6 was an artist coming out of Port of Spain, right? Rebel 6 was a struggling artist, all right? You know what I mean? So a lot of his music came from that place of the struggle, the places where he sang about, or the places that he hung out. So it's genuinely, you know, it came from a place, you could relate to some of the music, especially people from those areas could relate to the music. Now what we have is we have a lot of people claiming sides and claiming places and areas just to fit into the music.
Yeah, forward.
Yeah, correct. Which brings me to the other thing I want to talk to you about. This gang activity and the music. Let me be real. The music associated with a lot of gangs. All right?
Yeah.
I don't want to call any names in particular, not even deceased or whatever, but you have people always from early, when we started with this little tit for tat warring thing, yeah, people claiming who is king and this one is king and this one is not king and so on. And claiming which boss is the boss of bosses and so on, and that started causing conflict. We even started seeing violence spill over into the streets, and people claiming that some of that violence came from the music, from people claiming the same thing that the music claimed, that they're not recognizing certain bosses and so on and that kind of thing. Is the music dangerous in that case then? Could it be dangerous?
But the music, once you don't know what you're doing, it could be real dangerous because we're living in a dangerous time. So if it is living in a dangerous place, you have to be careful of what you're singing about because you have to think about repercussions. Like, I would encourage all these upcoming producers to stop letting these artists sing topics that you know will get them in trouble. You know? Sometimes you have to separate music from reality. If your country going to the dogs, that don't mean to address every problem just to get forward because you think it will go viral. You see what's going on. Look at people just dying innocent because they are wrong this one or they are wrong that one, you know. So it's a kind of situation where the place going through and then these artists getting forward from singing about what's going on and that putting them in more trouble, you know.
So it sounds like, and I'm not saying that's what you're saying, but it sounds like to me, you are saying that or at least you're alluding to, that the crime situation, the people who are supposed to be handling that, the higher-ups, who are supposed to be handling that crime situation, basically is the violence that's ongoing, or persons even singing about it, they're only singing about it because persons higher up and dealing with it.
Well, why are you saying, how many firearms is making Trinidad? Where is the gun factory? How come the officers cannot find this factory in Trinidad that is manufacturing these things? We all know all weapons are imported. So how it is all these things getting in the country? That is the problem. Not Trinidad. The ports are the problems. The ports of entry. All these staff working in these places, clearly you don't know what, I don't want to say because you don't know what's going on.
Yes, please. I didn't want to get my program shut down.
yeah, but you know, some going on in places is like they forget the major issues and they're just trying to blame the smaller issues, which is a sad thing because the bigger issues leading the small issues to turn to bigger issues. You understand?
Now, you mentioned previously, and I just wanted to cite, there were two occurrences that I wanted to cite. There was a shooting at a very famous and popular hotel establishment where a young lady unfortunately lost her life when they came for the person she was with, right? Who was a Trinidad artist, right? Very unfortunate incident. Young lady lost her life real innocently.
Well sad.
And allegedly that, you know, the person was singing music disrespecting another side, right? And claiming certain allegiances, causing problems, you know, that type of thing, causing issues. There was another artist out of St. Anne's where there was a shooting where a well-known community leader, right, or a well-known boss or whatever in a certain area, he released a song that went viral disrespecting this particular...
That wasn't even his song.
Pardon?
That wasn't even his song. He was singing a next man's song, and that led to his demise as well.
I didn't know it wasn't his song. I actually thought it was his song.
Everybody thought it was his song. I think that is what got him in trouble.
I thought it was his song. I did. I thought it was his song.
It wasn't his song.
But, okay.
But people thought it was his song.
Now, with incidents like that keep happening, with people feeling as though, and I understand that in some of these communities where resources hard to come by, things hard to come by, people blaming the community and the area and the people for some of these things, when it's on a much bigger scale, as you pointed out, guns are not made here, they're imported. And a little youth from an impoverished area that we call maybe a ghetto area, you want to call it, if you want to use that term, right, can't afford to pay the kind of prices you'd have to pay to import shipment and thing, and for people to look the other way, other things that would need to have happen for them to come in and clear here, right? A little, as they call them, ghetto youth, a youth from those areas will not be able to afford to be able to do that, all right? So to blame them, I feel is a little bit what we call disingenuous. It can't be that we blame those youths for that. But can we say, though, that the youths end up being part of this cycle and part of
all the youths getting trapped in it right now. Social media, they're watching the thing and they're thinking, like they're thinking it's a kind of fairy tale where we do this and we get success, but we could clearly see it ending lives, it's mashing up homes, you know?
So,
if there's one thing, Pons Entertainment, we don't support that business. Nobody can come by me and sing no song with no numbers, picking up no who, and knocking it on who. Pons N don't ever support that now, boy. And because of my strong stance is why I so successful and then why I am respected by all the numbers, because I fighting for this thing long before it even had numbers now, boy, you know? And I was in all these communities as a DJ that was playing music long before this.
Right.
So I think you should take pattern and realize that, hey, how come Pun successful and Pun don't pick no sides, boy? Maybe I should pick, you know? Maybe I should not pick a side too. You never know.
Because the unfortunate thing is, as you pointed out, Pun, and I agree with you 110%. While this one knocking it on that one, and this one going with this one, and so on, and all of that going on, no money making in those communities, but somebody making money. So you have that somebody, whoever that person or persons are, right? And I ain't going into particular groups, I ain't going into no race, I ain't going into any of that. I'm just saying that while these communities that are already suffering continue to suffer and now have to fear for their lives amongst each other, it have people making real money. So money still making from people and those people have no allegiance to any number. All right? No allegiance to any number. They're not part of these communities and things or whatever, other than persons who may be using these communities or using the need of the community. So if the community needs a firearm or so on, these people might be the ones being able to supply and bring in. Correct, right? For these communities, which is causing this violence, which is causing our youths to see some of these violent things and then sing about what they're seeing, which causing this whole loop, this entire loop.
That cycle right now.
Correct. So to say, I think, to throw all of the blame solely on the artist singing Trinidad music, I think that's doing an injustice. It does an injustice. Yeah. It's the easy thing to do.
No, I would say I have to be an adult and admit that the music could improve. The messages could improve. Yeah, it's fiction. You could sing a little action music and thing, but you have to know when to draw the line. And I think that is what get them in trouble, because Jamaicans are sing violent music as well, but just Jamaicans know when to draw the line. Jamaicans know if it's an artist and you have a problem with that next team, you're singing a song, you sing for an artist. You do not sing a song and diss somebody who is not an artist, who is probably a dangerous person in real life. And I think that is the problem.
So as we close, Pan, as we're closing, and thank you very much for being here. If there was a message, one message that you want the youth who might be looking at this program to leave with, what's one message you'd want to leave with them? One message you'd give to them that you'd want them to resonate in their brain as a successful producer? What was that message?
I think the message I will tell all youths is everybody could be successful once they put their mind to doing what they love and what they're passionate about. Also, I will tell them, don't worry about making it this year or next year. Sometimes it takes 10 years or 20 years. But each one teach one. So, like me, I already ruled, and I started to see success late in my career. And I still wouldn't do the wrong things to get success or fame. I know that used to look up to me, so I will always set the example for them to follow my path and choose just music now, you know?
Right. Well, thank you very much for that. One is that we acknowledge that there can be more positive messaging coming out of the Trinidad music. There can be. Mm-hmm. And I believe that there's a chicken and egg or a balance where the artist, if he finds a creative way to sell a package, the audience will buy it. Mm-hmm. So the positive music just doesn't have to be boring. It could be positive music that sounds good, that has good content, that has a balance. It doesn't always have to be rifle war music.
Correct.
It doesn't always have to be rifle war music. All right? And I think that's some of what I'm getting from you. And in closing, you said, don't look for the success. Don't expect the success to be right away. Sometimes it takes some time.
That's the problem. They wait now, boy, you know. They willing to do something, get now.
Right. They get it now. They get it now generation, right?
Yeah, fast food culture.
Correct. That fast food, that microwave culture. What I like to call 50 Cent had a movie, Get Rich or Die Trying, and I say for the youths now, they want to get rich or cause you to die while they trying, right?
Yeah.
So yeah.
And also the fans and the supporters and the general public, I was going to try something, right? Try to support a positive message, because remember, youths following youths. So if they're seeing that youths making a living from singing good music, they will all sing good music. So you all have the power to support the right thing, my boy. So go and stream a good song tomorrow and share it. You understand? And you go see how you have a kind of snowball effect in the world.
Right.
That's all I have to say.
I like that. So let us start with us. Let's not just expect from the artist and thing alone. Let us as a community are consuming the music. Let us also consume positive music and give people who putting out positive vibes, positive energy. Let's push that and show persons that they can make money singing positive music. Pon, thanks very much. If you have anybody who wants to reach out to you to produce music, or how do they get onto you on social media, or how do persons reach you if they need to get you?
You could link my hotline at 287 Pons, or you can contact me on Instagram at Pons Entertainment, or Facebook at Pons Entertainment.
All right, lovely. So 28 Pons, or you can hit him up on social media, that's Instagram or Facebook. Pon, thanks very, very much for joining us on the program today. Really appreciate it. Blessings and love. All right, and for the community out there watching, Trinidad and Tobago and beyond, next week, please God, same time, same place, right here on WESN. Stay psyched.
WESN